The idea of multiple models is one that shows up often in conversations with designers. And it was most stark with Frank Gehry, but one sees it in lots of other places. The basic idea is to have many models of the phenomenon that interests you, if it's a building, to have them at different scales, different kinds of models, models that feature various aspects of the thing under consideration. Now, in management, that has immediate and obvious applicability. If you accept that there aren't simple solutions to most of the problems that are really of interest to us in managing enterprises, then probably these are complex phenomena, and therefore multiple views of them will be useful. It's very tempting to say, if we could just get the right model. It's far more illuminating to look at a variety of models.
First of all, I think we as faculty didn't appreciate the process that they go through of continuous refinement and continuous evolution and continuous change. So we would tend to see a model and think this was the design, as opposed to having the sensibility of being able to say, this is a direction in which this design is going to go, and we can only sort of fantasize what they're going to be able to do with this direction.
I tell clients when I start that we're going to be in a liquid state for a lot of the time. In other words, information gathering, agonizing about program adjacencies, land use, materials, bureaucracies that we have to deal with. And during that period, we make a lot of study models, and some of them are pretty scary looking. When you show them to a client, they get pretty nervous.
This is not resolved on.
I call them Shrek models. It's a Yiddish expression for making people nervous. I do that so they can follow the trajectory of my thinking, but it's not predictable. It's opportunistic. I push something here, and then I see something, and then I take that and I go. So I think of it as an opportunistic kind of process that evolves with the inputs that I'm getting from the client and the world around.
The other thing is that if you freeze to an idea too quickly, you fall in love with it. If you refine it too quickly, you become attached to it, and it becomes very hard to keep exploring, to keep looking for better. So the crudeness of the early models in particular is very deliberate, and if we're forced to, at a particular stage, to make a refined presentation model before the design has fully matured, it's a very painful process, because then you quickly try to destroy that image as soon as you've done it, so that you keep everything a little bit out of focus. That leaves possibilities always open, and it keeps you from bonding to the idea so much that you can't move on. It's a good lesson for business school because it says you don't know for sure. You think you know, but you don't know for sure. As an entrepreneur, you have to be comfortable with that kind of state of change, with newness, with the sort of adventure of it all, or I don't think you'll succeed.